Hello there, people of the internet. A little while ago, I made a video talking about some surplus 8mm Mauser ammunition that I had gotten. And with this ammo, mixed into the batch of this Turkish ammo, was a little bit of Norwegian ammo. And I was going through that surplus ammo, and I found a couple of rounds. Not really a whole significant amount, but I found enough rounds to be able to test. So we're out here at the gun range. I'm going to go ahead and test those rounds. I have a grand total of 6 rounds. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and send these 6 rounds downrange. Now, this is very similar looking ammunition to the Turkish 8mm Mauser. We'll go ahead and we'll do a side-by-side comparison later on inside of the video. But right now, what we're going to do, there's 2 things I want to do here. I want to see how reliable this ammunition is, and I want to see how accurate it is. The point of the bullets is significantly more pointy than the Turkish 8mm, so I bet at long distances you might see increased accuracy if this ammunition is any kind of accurate. So we want to see how reliable it is, and we want to see how accurate it is, and I have 2 rifles out here to be able to test that functionality. Let me get this sling off of this rifle real quick. There we go. So first things first, I have a World War II German Kar 98 with a minimum sight of 100 meters, I think. But this right here is zeroed out for 198 grain projectiles traveling at about 2,500 feet per second. Well, the Norwegian ammunition that we have is 155 grain projectiles, very similar to Turkish ammunition. But this right here should, in theory, be traveling at about 3,000 feet per second. And I have no idea where it's going to hit for the German Kar 98. So we're not going to be focusing on point of aim versus point of impact. We're going to be focusing on group size. Since this right here is zeroed out for 100 yards, we're at about 50-ish or so. I got a cardboard target down there. We're going to see what our group size is and where the point of impact is with this ammunition at the 50-yard line with a 100-yard zero. That being said, the main reason why I have 2 rifles out here is this one right here has a standard factory 19-pound Mauser spring inside of it. I want to see if this 19-pound Mauser spring is enough to set off this surplus ammunition. And my other rifle, which is a Yugoslavian 24-47, has a heavy firing pin spring in it, so if this does not set off the rounds properly, we'll swap over to the heavier firing pin spring to see if that helps any. That right there has a 26-pound spring in it, if memory serves me correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and send 3 rounds downrange. This ammunition has been checked, no cracked cases, no anything like that. From what I can tell, this Norwegian stuff seems to be a dramatically better quality than the Turkish stuff that that came in the batch. So we're going to go ahead and send a round downrange. I got stabilization on this tree here to go ahead and try and make as accurate of shots as possible. Let me find a point of aim and we'll make some rounds. Oh, failure to fire already. That's not a good sign. I also noticed I flinched a little bit, which is also not a good sign. We're going to go ahead and try that one more time here. Send a round down. Oh, failure to fire again. There's a lot less flinch that time. So this is not looking good for this particular ammunition. That one did not fire. Okay, give it a second. Da-da-da-da. We'll go ahead and we'll take this one out. Okay, we do have very, very powerful impact on the primer itself. Toss that one aside. Let's go ahead and try that once more. Failure to fire. This is not looking good for this Norwegian ammunition. We'll go ahead and we'll cycle the system back and try that once more. Here we go, once more. Failure to fire. Not looking good for this ammo, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta say, not looking good for this ammunition. We'll go ahead and we'll pull this one out. Again, very positive confirmation on that primer. We'll try that once more. If this one does fire, it's likely going to be a hang fire, honestly. Failure to fire. Once again. We're seeing some pretty constant and consistent issues with this ammo here. Try that one more time. Failure to fire. Okay, so 3 out of 3 failed to fire with this Norwegian surplus stuff. Go ahead, just stand here for a second. La, 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 la. Okay, fantastic. Again, very positive confirmation on that primer. So the weight of the firing pin is not going to be the issue here. The issue is that these right here seem to just not want to ignite. Let's go ahead and just for giggles, we'll try the Yugoslavian 2447. But like I said, with those right there, that was very, very positive confirmation of the firing pin on the primers. So this is the same ammo. These ones have not been attempted to fire. Well, let's go ahead and try from the Yugoslavian rifle with a significant heavier power or heavier firing pin spring in it. This is a 26 pound or a 28 pound maybe, I can't quite remember, but it is a heavier one. Failure to fire. Not looking good for this stuff. This right here might just be either collectible or component ammo. I'll go ahead and I'll test out the bullet size and whatnot. We'll pull the bullets apart, we'll have a look at the gunpowder and whatnot. This confirmed does have gunpowder inside of it. So it's not like we're getting squiblets or anything like that. Failure to fire. Really not looking good for this Norwegian stuff. I was really hoping for at least a little bit of a bang. Okay, well, we'll take that. Again, very positive confirmation on the primers. Let's try that once more. Failure to fire. I'm getting the feeling that none of this is going to fire. So this right here is definitely going to be just component ammunition. Last round. Let's see what happens here. Failure to fire. Oh boy, who would have guessed that, huh? Alright, well, complete failure to fire on all accounts from both rifles. So much for that accuracy test that I was really looking forward to. Oh well, you know what? Just because we did have a failure to fire, we'll go grab some Turkish ammo and we'll send some of that downrange and see how well that stuff works, because hey, I want to at least, like, you know, have some gunfire for you guys. Alright, so now we have just some Turkish stuff, so we have some stuff that goes bang. It can't very well go to the gun range and just have all clicks. It just doesn't feel right. So this is Turkish stuff. This is 155 grain projectile. Should be traveling at about 3,000 feet per second, but I have seen this stuff travel up to 3,200 feet per second. So it can be pretty spicy. I have shot this stuff plenty of times. This stuff should go off, especially in the Mauser that has the heavier firing pin spring. Let's send a few rounds here. There we go. That one went off. That's what the ammunition is supposed to actually do. It's not supposed to just go click like what we saw. Oh, remember what I said about not just going click? This Turkish ammo can also be a little on the finicky side. Oh, we might just have ourselves a dud round here. Fantastic. Okay, cool. We'll take that one, toss it to the side, and load in this next Turk round that I got. Oh, we have ourselves another failure to fire. This stuff does make really good components, so although the ammunition is not very reliable, it is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent whenever it comes to the amounts of gunpowder inside of the ammunition themselves. Let's go ahead and grab another round here. Try this. Very consistent whenever it comes to the gunpowder itself, and very consistent in the bullet diameters and bullet weights, especially considering it's military surplus ammo. There we go. That one fired. Okay, so there's a couple of rounds from our Yugo, and you know what, just for funsies, let's go ahead and break out the Kar 98, and we'll see how reliable these ignite in the Kar 98. This right here has a standard Mauser spring inside of it. Considering the heavy Mauser spring had 2 failures to fire, we'll go ahead and see what this one does. I tell you what, man, with that lighter weight Mauser spring inside of this, that is a much better trigger. Let's see if this fires this time. There we go, she fired that time. Wow, that is a really, really nice trigger in this. Oh, I tell you what though, that that failure to fire is consistent though. Alright, well, I think this one right here is just not going to fire. Let's go ahead and try that once more. Why not? Lighter weight spring. Okay, so there's just going to be another one that's a failure to fire. So we had a lot of ammo out here that decided not to fire, but we did have some that actually did go bang. Just for funsies, I'm going to walk down there, grab my target, and I guess I'll show it to you guys. Why not? Alright, so here's what we're looking at. We did have 2 rounds fire from our Yugo, so that would be these 2 right here. Well, that's probably about a 2-inch spread or so. So about 4 MOA if we took this out to 100 yards, which is about typical for your military surplus rifle, especially with military surplus ammunition. As a matter of fact, I might do some hand loads with this stuff, see just how accurate I can get these components to be. And then my Kar 98, which has a 100-yard zero as opposed to the Yugoslavian's 200-yard zero. We got 1 round of fire out of that, and that right there is a little bit lower because, of course, it is a shorter zero, 100 yards versus 200 yards. So it's only natural that the Yugoslavian would aim just a wee bit higher. The actual point of impact I was aiming about right here because this was about where I could see with the grass growing out there on the target. So the actual windage appears to be pretty on point. My aim point was about right here. So 100 yard, a little bit high, 200 yard, even higher. But elevation seems to be the only thing that's off. The windage appears to be pretty gosh darn good. So for the stuff that I actually fired, yeah, not bad. So let's go ahead and head back. I'll take apart one of these Norwegian rounds, and we'll have a look at the powder and the bullet construction. And we'll compare it to some Turkish stuff that I got. So let's go ahead and go do that. All right, ignore the Kar 98. That's actually from a previous video that I was filming. On the left right here, that is our Norwegian produced 8mm Mauser ammunition. On the right there is our Turkish. Now at face value, they do look incredibly similar. They both use what looks like a flake powder. However, the Norwegian gunpowder is significantly darker than the Turkish gunpowder. However, I'm willing to bet that they both, burn pretty much the same as long as the round actually goes bang. However, the bullets themselves are what is very interesting. At face value, they look basically identical. If I grab our Norwegian 8mm Mauser round and set it there, and I grab our Turkish 8mm Mauser round and set it there, they look pretty much identical. However, whenever I broke out my calipers and decided to measure them out, I got some very interesting results. On average, the Norwegian one is a little bit heavier, comes out to about 155, 156 grain projectiles versus the Turkish, typically around 153 to 154 grain projectiles. However, the diameter is what got at me. The diameter of our Norwegian ammunition is 0.318 diameter or 0.318 inch diameter projectiles, which is actually the original diameter bullet for the original 8mm Mauser ammunition, the old school Commissioner 88 rifle diameter, versus the 323 or 322 in this particular case, which is pretty typical of standard military deviation for our Turkish ammunition. So very interesting that the Norwegian ammunition actually has the original 318 diameter bullets, as opposed to the Turkish ammo, which has the 323 diameter bullets, or in this particular case 322. With this singular bullet, however, I have measured more than one bullet. This right here is just kind of the examples that I'm showing here, and on average, yeah, the Norwegian ammunition is a 318 diameter bullet, and the Turkish ammo is leaning more towards the 323 diameters. Well, that being said, I don't think I have anything else to add to this. The Norwegian stuff was pretty disappointing. It all went click bang. I imagine that with the smaller diameter bullets, it probably would not be as accurate as the 323 diameter projectiles from the 323 bore of the modern day 8mm Mauser stuff. So yeah, besides that, I'm not sure what else to say about it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the outro. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. If you find yourself in possession of some of this Norwegian made Turkish 8mm Mauser ammunition, or Norwegian made ammunition mixed in with your Turkish ammo. So if you find some of that, let me know if it actually fires. This particular batch obviously did not. And besides that, you guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and I guess I'll see you all on the next one. Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.